All right, good morning everybody, good morning. I hope everyone is doing well today. We're going to do a little bit of yoga, so roll out your mat. If you have blocks or a strap, any props that you want to use, great, we will use them. Let's begin in a comfortable seat. You can either be cross-legged, or if you want to sit on your heels, if that's comfortable for your knees, go for it. Wherever you feel you can be reasonably comfortable for a few deep breaths as we begin this morning. Bring your hands to your knees. You can turn the palms face down for a little more grounding, or if you prefer, you can turn the palms face up for a little more opening, a little more open gesture. Start with the eyes closed. And before we even begin tuning into the breath, just take a moment to observe the sounds and the air around you. And start to narrow your focus to on the mat, tuning out the things that are going on around you. Maybe observing the weight of the hands resting on the legs. Softening the space between the eyebrows. Maybe sitting a little bit taller. Then bringing awareness to the breath. And before changing any part of it, just simply observing how it feels right now. Moving in and out through the nose. In and out through the body. And begin lengthening the breath. Taking slower, deeper inhales. Slower, deeper exhales. Let's take 3 more deep breaths. And slowly begin opening up the eyes. And coming up onto hands and knees. So removing any props that you might be sitting on. You can tuck or untuck the toes as we begin, whatever feels better here on the knees. And of course, please feel free to modify your practice today as it makes sense for you. As you inhale, start arching the spine, coming into a little cow pose. Let the eyes look up. As you exhale, round it down, coming into cat pose, tucking the tailbone a little, pressing up between the shoulder blades. Inhaling, arching, maybe even keeping the eyes closed here as you proceed, so you can really tune in a little bit more, not just to the breath, but just to how the body feels as you move through the stretch, as you open everything up. Let's take 3 more deep breaths. It's the gentle back bends on the inhales. It's the rounding, the cat pose on the exhales. 2 more. Matching the movement to the breath. One more time. then coming back to a neutral spine. If it feels good, I mean, you can just kind of roll a little bit, like moving a little bit through the shoulders, right? Warming up the shoulders, kind of making circles here. If you prefer, something you can do to stretch out the wrist, you can flip the palms around. So the fingertips turn in toward each other, maybe turn the fingertips toward the knees. Right, you can even flip the palms up if you want to stretch the wrist going the other way. Right, any kind of little stretch or shape here that feels good. And start releasing out, coming back with both palms flat down. Spread the fingers wide, setting up our foundational alignment for downward facing dog, right? The wrist crease parallel to the front edge of the mat. Start tucking the toes, lift the hips up and back. So you're in your first down dog of the day, and maybe walk out the feet a little bit, pedaling out the heels, stretching out the legs. Stay connected to the breath. On a big inhale, we're lifting the heels high. As we exhale, sink the heels back down toward the mat. Rolling forward, come into plank pose, lining up the shoulders over the wrist. And with little readjusting, return to your down dog. Let's give it one more deep breath. Putting a little bend in the knees, looking forward through the hands. Walk or hop the feet up lightly to the front of the mat. Folding over the legs. Feet slightly separated. Keep a bend in the knees. Interlace all 10 fingers behind the back. Let the arms reach up toward the sky. Continue dropping the head down as we release out the shoulders a little bit more. Take one more deep breath. And let the arms relax down toward the mat. Begin rolling up slowly to stand. Take your time as you uncurl all the way up. Chest up, shoulders back, standing nice and tall in Tadasana mountain pose. Pressing down through the legs, inhale, circle the arms around and up, overhead, reach up. Exhaling, dive over the legs. Lift up the chest on the inhale, maybe palms to shins if you need. Exhaling, step the left leg back in a low lunge. Lower the back knee to the mat, sweep the arms up, Anjaneyasana, low crescent lunge. Keep the right heel on the mat as the hips sink in a little bit. Sweep the arms back behind you, interlace the fingers, draw the shoulders back, big heart opener. On an exhale, lower your hands to the mat, step to plank pose, bring the right foot back. Take a deep breath in, top of the push-up. As you exhale, lower the knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhaling, slide it through into low cobra. Then pressing back to down dog or take child's pose. Deep breaths. One more breath. And Again, putting a little bend in the knees from your down dog. Look forward, step or lightly hop your feet to the front of the mat. Lift up the chest on the inhale, maybe palms to shins. Exhaling, round down, folding over the legs. Big inhale, sweep the arms around and up, Urdhva Hastasana, reach up. Exhale, dive over the legs. On your inhale, we're lifting the chest, lengthening the spine. Exhale, the right foot back in low lunge. Lower the back knee. Anjaneyasana, sweep the arms high. Keeping the left heel on the mat as the hips sink in. Look up if you can. Bend the arms, sweep back behind you. Change the grip as you interlace fingers, so the opposite pinky fingers on top. Draw the shoulders back, big inhale. Exhaling, lower your hands to the mat, plank pose, step the left foot back. Deep breath in. Lower to chaturanga on the exhale. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhaling back to down dog or taking child's pose. Deep breaths. One more full breath. And from your down dog, little bend in the knees, looking forward, step or float the feet up to the front of the mat. Chest up on the inhale. Exhale, round down. Step your feet together, toes and heels side by side. Bend the knees, sink the hips down, lift the arms. Utkatasana, chair pose. Draw the shoulders back. Maybe let the eyes look up between the hands. Give it one more deep breath in, keeping the toes resting on the mat. Exhale, dive over the legs. Big inhale, chest up. Exhale, step to plank. You can jump it to chaturanga if that's in your practice to do. We meet in down dog, so you can flow back any way or just step back if that feels good. On your next inhale, let's lift the right leg up. Exhale, warrior one. Step your right foot through the hands, turn the back heel down, float the arms high. Identify your right arm and your left arm. Take your left arm, wrap it underneath the right, like you're coming into eagle arms, right? Then lift up the elbows, big inhale, keep the right knee bending deep. As you exhale, curl it in and round over the front leg or slightly inside the right knee. Take one more breath. Pressing through the legs, big inhale, bring it all the way up. Sweep the arms back up overhead. Warrior two, reach the arms out to the side. Reverse the warrior, sweep the right arm up. Keep the front knee pointing forward. Side angle pose, bring the right elbow to the right thigh. Sweep the left arm down, around, and up. We're here for one breath. We're going to be back here though. Looking down at your right foot, lower both hands to the mat. Down dog split. Lift the right leg up and back. You can hold it here with the right leg lifting. You can return your right foot to the mat. Your choice as you come forward into plank, so maybe one-legged. Lower halfway down. Upward facing dog, both feet are on the mat for this. Returning back to downward facing dog. Lift up the left leg, step to warrior one, bring your foot through the hands, turn the back heel 45-degree angle, sweep the arms up. Again, identify the right arm, the left arm, take your right arm, wrap it under the left, elbows and wrists. Big inhale, lifting up the elbows. Exhale, curl it in and round. Keeping the front knee bending deep, drop the head down. We're here for one more breath. And pressing through the legs. Inhale, come all the way up. Sweep the arms overhead. Warrior two, reach out to the side. Drop the shoulders out of the ears. Keep the arms strong. Reverse the warrior, sweep the left arm over. Side angle, Parsvakonasana, left elbow on the thigh. Sweep the right arm down, round and up. Turn your gaze, look toward the left foot, lower both hands to the mat, turn on the back toes, down dog split with the left leg lifting up and back. Again, you are welcome to keep the left foot lifting. You're welcome to lower the foot to the mat as you come forward into plank. Lower chaturanga. Inhale to your up dog. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. Let's give it another deep breath. Start looking forward through the hands. Walk or hop the feet up to the front of the mat. Lift up the chest on the inhale. Exhale, round down. Feet together. Utkatasana. Bend the knees, lift the arms. We're going to do the same sequence a little faster. Dive over the legs on the exhale. We're lifting the chest, big inhale. Exhale to plank, or you can jump it to chaturanga if that's in your practice to do. We meet in down dog, so you're also welcome just to step it straight back. On your next inhale, we're lifting up the right leg. Step to warrior one. Exhale the foot through. Inhale the arms high. Wrap the left arm under the right, elbows and wrists. Exhale, round it down, head down. On the inhale, bring it all the way up. Sweep the arms overhead. Warrior two, reach out to the side. Reverse the warrior, sweep the right arm over. Side angle pose, Parsvakonasana, right elbow down, left arm sweep it around. We're going to hold it a little bit longer, so if you want to work this a little deeper, you can straighten the right arm toward the mat. You can wrap the left arm around the lower back or work into any other variations that you choose. Let's give it one more breath. Then looking down at your right foot, lower both hands to the mat, turn on the back toes, down dog split, lift the right leg high. You can keep it lifted, you can lower the foot, you can hold down dog if you choose, or come into your plank, lower halfway, upward facing dog, pressing back to downward facing dog. Switching sides, inhale the left leg up, exhale warrior one, step the foot through, right heel down, arms high, wrap the right arm under the left, elbows and wrists, round it down on the exhale, head down, inhale, bring it all the way back up, the arms overhead. Warrior two, reach it out, reverse the warrior, sweep the left arm over. Side angle, drop the left arm down, sweep the right arm around. And you're either holding here or working into whatever variation you tried on the first side. Let the breath move. Let's give it one more breath. Looking down at your left foot, lower both hands to the mat, down dog split, lift the left leg high. You're holding and flowing through, or lower the left foot and flow, or hold your downward facing dog. Good, let's take a little child's pose, lower the knees. Separate the knees a little wider than the hips, toes together, hips to heels. You can reach arms forward or back. Come back up onto hands and knees. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Little bend in the knees, looking forward. Step or hop the feet up to the front of the mat. Chest up on the inhale. Exhale, round down. Feet together. Utkatasana. Bend the knees, arms high. Take your left arm, wrap it under the right, setting up eagle arms. Keep sitting down, looking past your hands. Lift the left leg, cross it over the right, coming into full eagle Garudasana. If you're modifying here, you can just take hands to opposite shoulders. Try to hook the top leg, the top foot behind the standing leg. Just give it a try. Don't worry if it doesn't want to go. It's a practice, right? Not a perfect. Bring your knees a little bit to the left. Lift the elbows. If you like, you can also curl the elbows in and round. Completely up to you. Just take your time and breathe. Good. Then let's all meet with the elbows lifting. Hold on to the arms. Unwrap your left leg. Coming into a modified warrior 3. Extend the left leg straight back behind you. Strong standing right leg. Keep the left leg lifting, but lower your hands to the mat. Turn your left toes toward the mat. Lift the chest. Revolved half moon. Parivrita Ardha Chandrasana. If you're using blocks, you can slide one under the left hand. Pick up the right arm with your right arm facing the right palm, facing the right side of the room. Turn your head if you can. Give it one more deep breath in. On your exhale, lower the right hand, step into low lunge, bring your left foot back. Set up right into warrior 2, turn the back heel down, windmill the arms out to the side. Reverse the warrior, sweep the right arm up. Straighten the right leg this time, adding triangle trikonasana. Turn the arms, lower the right hand toward the mat, left arm high. Block under the right hand if you like, or let your fingertips reach toward the mat. Turn your gaze toward the left arm, left fingertips. Deep breaths. Press down through the legs, come all the way back up. Keep the legs nice and strong. Turn the right toes in, facing the left side of the room, arms out. Dive over the legs, Prasarita Padottanasana. Let the crown of the head lengthen toward the mat. We're here for one breath. Bend the knees if they need to bend. It'll be an inhale, lifting the chest, lengthening the spine. On your exhale, take a side lunge to the back of the mat, bending up at the left knee. Keep the left heel flat on the mat. You can pick up the right toes, opening up the inner thighs here. Give it one more breath. Let's transition into low lunge at the front of the mat. Plant the right toes down, facing forward. Pivot the hands. Let's come into half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. Reach the right hand in front of the right foot. Again, if you have a block, slide it under the right hand here. Lift your left leg up off the mat. Point your left toes away from you toward the back edge of the mat. Float the left arm high. You can turn your gaze if you like to the left. Give it a try. Maybe look up at your left fingertips. One more breath. Good. Let's lower the left hand to the mat. Brief standing split pose. So your forehead lowers to the right shin, stepping all the way forward to the front of the mat. So your left foot lowers down about hip width distance away from the right foot. Fold over the legs, little bend in the knees, hands to opposite elbows. You can nod the head a little if that feels good, sway a little side to side. And let the arms relax toward the mat. Bring the feet back together again, toes and heels touch. Bend the knees deep, Utkatasana, chair pose. Setting up Garudasana, eagle pose. Going the other way, take the right arm, wrap it under the left, elbows and wrists. Keep sitting all the way down, look past the hands. Pick up the right leg, cross it over the left. Try to hook the foot if you can behind the standing leg. Some days yes, some days no. Bring the knees an inch to the right. You're either lifting the elbows up or you can tuck the elbows in as you round. One is not better than the other, just a slightly different variation. One more breath. And pressing down through the legs. Lift the elbows up. Keep the arms wrapped. Unwrap the right leg into modified warrior 3. Reach the right leg back. Drop the outer right hip a little bit. Elbows lengthen forward. Take one more breath. Lower your hands to the mat. Walk the hands out a little bit so they're right under the shoulders. Point your right toes to the mat. Head up. Revolved half moon. The right hand is down. Put a block under the right hand if you like. Pick up the left arm. Your left palm facing the left side of the room. Maybe look up at your fingertips if you can. One more breath. Lowering your left hand to the mat, step back in a low lunge, the right toes on the mat. Warrior 2, spin the right heel down, windmill the arms out and around. Reverse warrior, left arm high. Straightening the front leg, left leg, adding triangle, Trikonasana, turn the arms. Lower the left hand down, reach the right arm high. Both arms actively reaching in opposite directions. Let the breath move. One more time. Press through the legs, keep them strong, come all the way up, arms out, turn the left toes in, facing the right side of the room. Bring both arms behind the back, interlace all 10 fingers, take an inhale, chest up, exhaling, dive over the legs. Modified Prasarita Padottanasana. Again, if the knees need to bend, you can bend them. Right? Otherwise, just keep a micro bend in the knees. Take one breath, head down. Good. Let your hands relax toward the mat. Start to lift the chest, lengthen the spine. Take a side lunge at the back of the mat. It's your right knee bending up. Keep the heel on the mat. You can pick up your left toes. Come into low lunge at the front of the mat. Plant the left toes down, pointing forward. Walk the hands around. Half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Reach the left hand in front of the left foot. If you're using a block, place it here under the hand, the right leg up. Point the right toes back behind you, right arm high. Strong standing leg. When your foundation is set up, you can turn your head to the right. Maybe look up at your right fingertips. Keep the breath steady. One more time. Lower the right hand, brief standing split pose. Your forehead softens to the left shin. Step forward to the front of the mat, folding over the legs with your feet about hip width distance apart. Little bend in the knees, hands to opposite elbows. Take the opposite hand on top from the last time so we can keep it as balanced as possible. Letting go of the grip, let the arms drop down toward the mat. Once again, roll up slowly to stand. Take your time as you uncurl all the way up. Chest up, shoulders back, palms slightly forward, Tadasana. All right, taking this down a notch or two as we wind things down. Inhale, circle the arms around and up overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhaling, dive over the legs, Uttanasana. Chest up on the inhale. Exhale to plank pose. Let's do a little side plank here. Start rolling to the outside of your right foot. Your left leg will be on top. You can modify this any way you like. If you want, you can drop the bottom knee, right? If the legs are straight, one on top of the other, you can float the left leg, do a little side tree pose, or anything else that you might be exploring today. Take one more breath. Let's come back to center. Go the other way. Face the right side so your right leg will be on top. Try to do the same thing here you did on the first side. One more breath. Lower the top arm, come back to center. Let's meet in down dog. And pick up the right leg, deep breath in, bending at the knee, come into pigeon pose, slide the right knee through, left leg back, sit tall, level the hips as best you can so you're not sliding off to the right or to the left, using a block or blanket rolled up under the right hip if you need to. If there's a big space there, you're either holding right here or walking the hands out, forehead down, and of course modifying this variation or doing a different variation on your back, doing the reverse figure 4 if that makes sense for the joints. Let's keep the breath moving. One more deep breath. As we release out, let's slide the hands in, lift the head, the chest up. Take it right back to down dog with the right leg back. Shake it off, stretch it out. Switching up the sides, big inhale, lift the left leg, bending up at the knee, bring the knee through for your pigeon. Right leg back, sit tall, making sure the back toes are straight back. Prop yourself if you need, keep the hips level as best you can, and either stay upright or walk the hands out. Forehead down. You can even put a block or blanket rolled up under your forehead if that feels good. Surrender up to the stretch. Let's give it one more deep breath. And walking the hands back in, lift the head, the chest, down dog, step the left foot back, shake it off, stretch it out. Optional plank chaturanga up dog if you'd like to flow through. Then bring both knees onto the mat. Have a seat on your heels, right? And just really quickly, right, this is going to look very different from person to person. So if you need to, you can always take a block or blanket rolled up between the ankles, right, to relieve pressure on the knees. You can even roll up a blanket behind the knees and sit back. That usually feels good on the knees. If you're good here without a prop, you can hold here. You can walk the fingertips back a little bit, and then just let the tailbone scoop a little, chest up, getting a little bit of a back bend, maybe let the head drop back, but we're also stretching out the quads. So when you tuck the tailbone a little, you'll feel the tops of the legs open up. And certainly if you have the space to do so between the hips, the back, and the knees are a big part of this, right? You can separate your heels, sit between the feet, walk the hands back. And either keeping the elbows on the mat. I am not going to demonstrate because I know that this is not going to be friendly on my knees, but you can lower all the way down with your back on the mat, reaching both arms overhead, hands to opposite elbows, right? That's another option as well. Let's give it one more deep breath. And if you're all the way down on your back, bring one hand at a time, one elbow at a time to the mat, then come all the way back up. Let's come into a seated position, just on your sit bones, extending both legs around front. Straightening out the legs. Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Flex the feet, sit tall, lift the arms up. You can always put a little bend in the knees if you need to. And exhale, reach out, grab the feet. You can hold onto toes or heels. If you need a strap or a belt, really good way to get a better grip on your feet if that's more reasonable. 2 more breaths. One more time. On an inhale, we're lifting the chest. Exhale, releasing out the feet. Let's bend up at the knees. Roll onto your backs. Keep the knees bending, bring the soles of the feet together, drop the knees out to the side, Supta Baddha Konasana, resting hands and arms where it's comfortable. Right, maybe on the legs, maybe on the belly, so you can stay tuned to the breath a little better, or you can let the arms drop out by your sides. If this is a reasonably comfortable place to be, you're welcome to remain here. If you otherwise have an inversion practice, you want to give that a try today. Certainly if you have an advanced headstand practice, you're welcome to do that. You can shoulder stand, Sarvangasana, right? Lift the legs, hands to the back, legs up. Please, please do not turn your head if you're doing this variation while the legs are lifting. You can take a block or blanket if you want to support the lower back. Lift the legs. And let's give it another 3 to 5 deep breaths. Stay present, be with the breath. And if you're upside down, start to make your way out. If you're in a headstand, you're going right into a child's pose. If you're in shoulder stand or using the prop, you're either staying on your back for fish pose, straight legs, chest up, head back. You can use a block or rolled up blanket between the shoulder blades as a restorative option. And if you're in the hip stretch, Supta Baddha Konasana, fold the knees back in together again. Windshield wiper the knees side to side. Let's take one more deep breath. And start releasing out. Bring the knees in toward the chest. We'll set up our Shavasana from here. Let the legs extend out on the mat. Separating the feet. Let the arms drop out with the palms facing up. Closing the eyes. Letting go of the Ujjayi breath. Uncreasing the brow. Unclenching the jaw. Just surrendering up the physical practice, embracing a few moments of much needed stillness to let the body restore itself. Begin lengthening the breath. Gradually returning awareness to the body, wiggling fingers, wiggling toes. Maybe gently roll the head side to side. Reaching the arms overhead, enjoying a nice waking stretch. Pull the knees in toward the chest one final time. Slowly rolling over to the right side and keeping the eyes closed a little while longer. Come back up to a comfortable seated position on the mat. Bringing both palms together at the heart. Soften your chin to your chest. Just taking a moment as we seal our practice today. Revisiting your intention. And always taking the opportunity to honor your efforts. Namaste.